Oh, bit of a bald patch. Oh, I am a lot bolder than I thought. Well, I'll have to do something about that. I've taken this light, which uses a 1/4" screw, out from this Neewer ceiling mount here, which is compatible with a lot of things. But this, if I had the light up there, it wouldn't be long enough. So if I put my extension arm from something like that, you would think it would be a good size. However, the screw, if I take off this head here, it's the wrong screw head at the moment. If I compare the height that I've currently got the mirror here on this microphone stand, which is totally in my way, right? I walk into the bathroom and this thing is in the way. If I mounted something like this from the ceiling, I can then use the telescope. I can't show you now while I'm holding the phone because I need 2 hands as always. I don't know why some people in the comments are talking about doing everything one-handed. I would never try to put on a hairpiece with one hand, okay? This would have some good height adjustability if I position it correctly, and it would be above my height to walk in and just use the bathroom with that thing hovering above me but not in my face until I decided to lower it. So potentially if I get a ceiling mount and then a screw adapter, so that, I mean, ideally I would get, I can't hold the phone while I'm doing this. See, everything I do in life requires 2 hands. And I very much pity people who don't have 2 hands. This screw is bigger than the standard 1/4" screw used on lots of different things, okay? But there are screw adapters. So I'll figure out what size screw this is so that I can convert to maybe putting one of those mounts in my bathroom and just hanging this off the ceiling. I might also paint it white, I'm not sure yet. I've spent the night trying to figure out how to change this table mounted light to a ceiling mounted light and trying to figure out how to measure the thread size or the gauge of the screw, the bolt I need, whatever this one is, but I have no way to measure bolt gauges or anything, or nut butt gauges. So I've been looking at buying some kind of tool that will enable me to do it so that I know what this size is, so I can convert it from that to whatever that is, which is probably 1/4", same as this thing, which I also found that I have, which I could potentially hang from the ceiling with a little phone holder attached to it, and so on. Obviously, when people come into my bathroom, they wouldn't understand why there's a phone holder hanging from the ceiling, but they would understand why there's a light potentially hanging from the ceiling. I don't really want to run cables up through the ceiling to get electricity, but a lot of these Neewer lights do run on battery, which I have heaps of these kind of batteries lying around because Neewer just usually give them away when they sell the lights as well, with chargers and so on. Just like that one over there, right? Luckily, Amazon does sell these things with ceiling mount attachments included for about 35 bucks Australian. So I will be buying one of those. When it comes to the head, I'll probably get a light as well. I don't think I've got any spare lights, so I might get another light that I'll just run off batteries and potentially stick a phone to that. Or if I get a big light, I could stick an iPad to it. This head that comes with this by default is not fluid. And if we imagine this coming down from the ceiling, we're stuck just being able to do that. Whereas if it came out some distance, it would swing out as well and then be able to hook back around. So what I want is an arm that comes out perpendicular to the base before the light. So I want ceiling, base here, swing out, so I can swing that around closer and further away and angle the mirror here on the side of the face here, or swing it around this side of the face, swing it up above a bit. This is already telescopic. Unfortunately, it's not simple. It's not a spring-loaded one or anything. You've just got to manually adjust the distance from the ceiling to about that distance. So from the ceiling, as I've calculated, I'll be able to have a pretty good idea, a pretty good view of my head. Also, I've measured that this will definitely clear anybody trying to walk underneath it. The other thing is, once it is screwed into the ceiling, you can simply, from down here, unscrew the whole thing and take it off the ceiling completely, and you're just left with a little, it'll just be like a little hook just sticking out of the ceiling, and I'll paint that white, the same as the ceiling, so it won't be ugly. It would be ugly potentially to somebody who's visiting, especially for Airbnb, to have a beam coming out of the ceiling, so I'll just unscrew it from the ceiling when I leave the apartment for Airbnb purposes, if I do Airbnb again. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this section here, but I am quite certain I do want some length and potentially hingy downwards as well, so I can just swing out, swing in, all the swingings you need. That's what I'll be working on now. And why wouldn't I choose this, attach this to the ceiling? This sort of does what I want and would compress back up, because it moves. It's never completely stable. It slowly moves over time with the springs and everything. It's going to be slightly ugly, etc. Though it does kind of achieve a lot to do with what I need. I should probably maybe try it. If I could unhook this top table desk clamp, which I think is just sitting in there actually. If I could get that out for a second, one hand as always, that's what's remaining. What I would need to do is modify this so that that can screw on to the ceiling clamp. That would be sticking downwards like that, and then I'd be able to pull that down and around, and that would rotate at the top easily, which wouldn't be too bad I suppose, but probably would be a little bit bad because it's got quite a bit of length and flexibility in terms of motion. But as you can see, unless the thing is, I could potentially tighten some of these bits along the way, but it's cheap. You know, if you want to get something that's, you know, industrial or medical, you're talking about thousands of dollars. So I don't want to have to spend that, and I want to come up with a solution that you can all have in your own homes if you want as well. So I'm looking at products by Neewer at the moment. Neewer. All my lighting stuff seems to come from them, and I'll try to piece together stuff that they've got for lighting and ceiling mounted rigs and stuff, so that we can keep that bloody microphone stand out of the bathroom. What I'm doing now is testing out what it's like to press my phone against the back of this light, because I'm thinking about buying one of these. Also, when I look at the screen, I'm going to need a tablet holder, not just a phone holder, because I realized even though I do all my filming with the phone attached to the mirror, my new phone holder is really awesome for that. And it does allow me to angle down and duck my head down into the sink and look at my iPad down here like this. Now that I'm considering getting a ceiling one, very seriously, in fact I've got a shopping list prepared that I'm looking at really buying a whole bunch of stuff right now. I experiment so you can profit from my mistakes. I need a tablet holder, I need a beam coming down from the ceiling, and I need a swing arm to come out so that I can re-angle the camera wherever it is. Whatever that camera is, which is probably going to be my phone, needs to attach to something like this. I thought about using an iPad, or, you know, filming with the iPad and stuff, and I thought, no, I don't want to see the screen at any angle coming from the ceiling. That needs to be the camera, so it has to be light and I want to avoid weight problems because I know what it's like as not an engineer, but I built a lot of robots and different contraptions over the years. It needs to be light. This light is designed by Neewer. It's lightweight. It takes a little battery on the back. I don't need wiring. These batteries, they come usually with the lights and a little recharge kit, so I won't have a problem with power for lighting. So this is what the lighting will be like. I've got adjustments on the side of the light that I should be able to quickly access. That changes the color temperature. I'll probably just get another one of these. And the brightness with the dial on the back and the power on the side here. I might just get one of these. A lot of the ones I've got in the ceiling, oh, this is an RGB as well. Yeah, so if I really wanted to, if I turn this on, I'm pretty sure I could, yeah, change colors and things and, you know, the modes. So if I go to color mode again, hue mode or whatever it is, that's the dial for this sort of brightness level. But then the toggle on the side, I think, changes, yeah, color. Not that I want to ever see the back of my head in different colors, but if I did want to, I'd have that option. No, they're so cheap, all these lights and everything. Overall, it adds up though. That you might as well get one of these ones that do change color. Just click the mode on the back again to get back to white, and this is the party mode. That's police lights. You can put one of these in the back of your car and really pull somebody over if you want in the front of your car. They are battery powered, so you could just stick it in the front. If anyone ever pisses you off, you could really just tail them like this, right? Just turn that on while you're driving at night, and if somebody's been fucking you over, like if they've been tailgating you, swing around in front of them. Oh, sorry. If they've been tailgating you, when they overtake you, just put that light on. Make them pull over. Say, you get your license and registration, and they say, are you a cop? And you just say license and registration. We don't say license and registration in Australia, say driver's license, because registration is like a given pretty much, or you look it up on the computer as a cop, because you've got computers in the cop car. I don't know what's registration. I don't know why you keep those things together in the United States, but we hear them in the movies. So we know that's what you say. Anyway, I highly recommend you do that. Pull people over. Imitate being a cop. No, actually, I didn't give you that idea. All right, if anyone asks. So I need a light. Once there's a light, I'll just probably use blue tack. The LEDs are not so hot that they'll cause the blue tack to melt too easily, hopefully. And I'll want my phone back in my pocket at the end of filming as well, and at the end of doing my hair. So the blue tack only has to last for the certain duration, but it will be yanked and moved around, unlike just sitting on the mirror. So maybe blue tack is not strong enough. What I'm saying is though, I don't think these will heat up enough to melt the blue tack to the point that they'll just slide off. Also, this material for this cover, it's a diffuser, it comes on and off, is not shiny enough, but that's this side. The other side actually is smooth. So a suction cup could work there as well if I did want to add a suction cup onto the light for some reason, just to be neat about everything. Because if I look at phone holders, Neewer actually do sell phone holders that click onto all their 1/4-inch attachments. But then I'd need lighting from the front-facing camera, because I always use the front-facing camera so I can line everything up, so I can see when I'm in shot, so I'm not filming everything like this all the time. So I just get a light. This fits onto the phone exactly, right? With borders, so that the outside of the light shines and illuminates every direction the camera's facing. You wouldn't want it just a light on the side, I don't think. It could work, but in my experience, if you're trying to see something uniformly, you need uniform light. You don't want a side light that only illuminates one side. So I might get one of these to go with this new kit that I'm setting up for you. It's for me as well. I just hope it works, because I'm going to be drilling into my ceiling. Just so I have some sympathy from what I'm going through. these lights, the Neewer RGB 190, is no longer available. Given that I have 4 of these, I could easily use this solution for myself, but you know, I spend all my life trying to figure out solutions for you guys. So I'm going to try to continue to search on Amazon and everywhere else how to find a light that's this big. I've got another light over there that's from Neewer as well, which is smaller. We don't need all the colors, right? We just need to light up our faces, and it needs to fit the phone right behind it so you can stick the phone to it. A phone holder on its own, like I say, you won't be able to see the camera. The phone would have to face the wrong way. You want the front-facing camera. Even though it's lower resolution than the back camera on phones, it's always nicer to have that facing you so you can line everything up nicely whenever you look at it. Even if you did have to stick the phone screen to the phone holder, whatever is coming out of the ceiling, you still want to be lit. Is that battery already dead? Fuck. I think this battery's actually got problems, because I just pulled this out of a charger very recently. That could be a dud. These are based on the Sony battery. Neewer's just copied it, which is good because it's compatible with all Sony type products. I want a battery powered light. At the moment, everything I'm finding is not battery powered. I'm looking on the American Amazon as always, so that the majority of you can easily find it and buy it easily without any problems. Anyone who's in another country, even Australia, can find out if it's available in your Amazon or some other place. So, the RGB 190 now seems like a godsend, and it would be great if I could just buy these again, but they are no longer available. Also, I thought these things were about 45 bucks, more like 150 bucks if they were available. I'm going to keep shopping around. I'll try to find a light that's less than 100 bucks, not too big, because all the lights I'm seeing that are replacing this are like those big ones that are this big. We might have to do that. I'll also send you a link to just a phone holder in case your bathroom is well lit and you don't need an extra light. Then it can just be a phone holder coming down from the ceiling. But that's suspicious to anyone who visits. Everyone's already going to ask questions. The thing is, this is a telescopic bar, so you could paint the outside of it, but the inside's going to be black. If you paint the inside, it's going to get scratched up every time you slide it in and out. I know this from experience. Also, it won't slide in and out as easily because this has been I don't know how they paint these things with a method that is not just a paintbrush, I can tell you that. You will not get sheer paint with a paintbrush on the outside of this thing. If you painted the outside of this bar, that's fine. But then you've got the knobs and everything you've got to paint as well, and now they're not going to work properly because it's covered in paint. So you're not going to paint it, it'll be black. Sorry. I'd love it to be white or beige or whatever people's bathroom colors are, but we're going to have to go with black for everything. It's camera equipment. So we're going to go black. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to continue down this stream and try to find a nice, easy to find, well-sourced, not going to run out of stock, not about to be discontinued light that this video will be still worth something in a number of years, because hopefully they're still selling this stuff. But like I say, some people don't want to spend money on a light, you just want a phone holder, and you probably don't even want to drill into your ceiling in the first place. However, if you're somebody who needs to see the back of your head every few days or whatever, you need something. I don't know how you've been doing it. I seriously don't know how you've been doing it. People talk about accordion mirrors that come out of the wall. What are they doing? Drilling into the tiles? And like, does the mirror come out and swing around this side of your head about 2 or 3 meters? I don't know. Like, it sounds like bullshit to me. Everything I've done to investigate how to see the back of your own head, I haven't found much information on the internet about how to see the back of your own head before I started investigating how to do this. The microphone stand it's not a good idea. It's in the way. You can pack it up and put it away and all that sort of stuff, but it's too much set up each time. You want it ready to go. The swing arm idea, something like this, like I've said, is too weak, right? If you want something like this, you've got to go medical and get proper industrial strength stuff, right? That will just be robust and stay where you put it. This little lamp arm thing will not, okay? It'll be floppy, which could be doable, but in my opinion, it's hard to modify. This is hard to source, and it's ugly. Whereas this, boom, was like a solid piece of equipment coming out of your ceiling, and you can just unscrew the whole thing just by rotating it with your fingers, and it'll just slide out of the screw that's sticking down out of your ceiling, which you're going to paint, so it's not a black square on the ceiling, it'll be white or whatever your ceiling color is. So there'll be a bit of work involved in doing this, but it'll permanently solve your problems properly. All right, check this out. This is Australian dollars 71, so it would be cheaper in America. This is a handheld camera rig with lights built into it, which clips your phone in and enables you to adjust color temperature, so you don't have to figure out a way to stick your phone to the screen. It is cumbersome, but it's lightweight, and it does take these batteries, and it does come with a battery. That's the deal that's going here in Australia. You can also Bluetooth this record button. Probably too small to see that cursor. And it allows you to mount actual cameras as well as phones. So I'm thinking it probably does come with the camera mount as well for the phone holder. Hopefully that's what's going on here. It's got good reviews. 5. Overall, its score is pretty high. Yeah, 41 ratings, 4.7 stars. That's what it looks like. Like that. It looks ugly as hell. But it will get the job done by the looks of things, for our purposes. So this is my #1 contender right now, given that I wanted to figure out a way to mount your phone on the light as well as have a light. Easy to grab down from the ceiling, and hopefully fully adjustable with all these other bits and pieces that I'm going to buy. Yeah, I'm very strongly considering this one as the answer. And it does come with a battery and a battery charger and a mobile phone holder, so that's the stuff you get there. It's cool, huh? Hopefully that'll be the answer. I thought the last one was good, but seriously, this would better suit our needs. It's more expensive, but it's going to give us light in every single direction. It's also a bit smaller, which is what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, it's going to take 3 or 4 weeks for me to get it shipped here. The other thing is, it's just powered by its own internal battery with a USB charger, so you don't have to worry about battery swapping. It's 8,500 milliamp hours, I think. So it should give you a few hours. And of course, you can adjust the color temperature. I just want white so we can see exactly what's going on our heads. I would prefer this, but I can't be bothered waiting 3 weeks. The other one can be shipped to me tomorrow. Look at this thing. It's perfect. It is ideal for what we want. I really want to get set up though. Hey, I just realized Amazon has a no questions asked returns policy. Alright. I'll get both. And I'll send the other one back. Or I'll send back the one I don't like the most. Alright, so I'm going to continue to explore the idea of putting a full topper on my head and replacing this front partial. Even though my hair is starting to grow back and is kind of feeling like it's going to get better, I'm still potentially balding at the back of my head, and I need to cover that So the only answer really, apart from putting on Topic or something, which is too messy, it really messes up your pillow and your hat and everything. It just, with sweat and water, it just washes out. No good. It's got to be a hairpiece. So if I'm already wearing a hairpiece, why don't I just a bigger one? Because the back of my head is hard to see. I set up the microphone stand in the bathroom, but now I've decided it's in the way. The mirror is no match for the camera and screen. So I need to hang a camera behind my head in the bathroom with a light, though. It has to have a light around it. And then I need to be able to move that around the back of my head and be able to see the back of my head in front of me on an iPad next to the mirror. So I just bought some new things here from Amazon. This is an iPad holder to hold onto the mirror. I imagine that when I look at my reflection in the mirror like that, the iPad would be down below my face so I could see my face, and then I could see the back of my head because the camera would be behind me and the iPad would be there. Next, I got a ceiling mount. Yeah, so I'm going to attach that. I'm going to drill that into the ceiling. But the ceiling is just drywall, you know. What do we call it in English? Plasterboard. How am I supposed to hang from there unless I find a beam exactly in the right spot above my head? You see what I've done with this curtain railing here? That is not going into a beam in the ceiling. That's just going straight into the plasterboard. How do I screw in without the screws just falling straight out? The answer is toggle bolts. You drill a hole wide enough to fit that spring hook through. You push it up and then pull it down, and now it's locked like a fish hook. And then you screw it, and that flattens and tightens with the base point. Which, yeah, I was thinking I need a washer, but I don't, because the washer will simply be the base of this thing, which has 4 holes in it. So I'll just go through 4 of those, and that should stay stable. Next, what is this? Something from Neewer. It is a new car. Clamp and flexible joint with 1/4" screws to attach my phone holder camera. I think probably what's going to have to happen is I will bolt this onto that ceiling mount, and there's a screw hole here, 1/4" I think, that this will screw into. I don't really know yet. Hopefully I won't need the clamp because this will all work, but I think I do need a clamp because this is male and this is male and there's no female. So I'm probably going to have to use the clamp. Alright. And that will just grip onto the pole that's coming out of the ceiling. And from there, I need a female. Oh, maybe that one. Maybe they're 2 sizes because that's way too big. That could be the size. It could come out of there, I think. That looks like 1/4" there. Have a quick look. Oh, this is a Rosetta connector, so inside it's like teeth, so it doesn't slip. Once you tighten this, it will lock and will not be movable anymore. These, oh, that looks very loose. That's too loose. I don't know why that's so freaking loose. What the fuck? That can't be that loose. Why is it floppy like that? That doesn't make any sense. Shit. This one's floppy too. There's got to be a way to tighten this, surely. If I tighten this, does this mean the others lock too? Does this lock everything? Yeah, that really is magic. Once you tighten this, everything locks. That's totally locked. That's amazing. I don't know how that engine is engineered. Okay, so you just loosen this one and everything becomes like Gumby, which could be a problem, but it does mean that, see how it's just got a lock and unlock symbol? I don't know if this is great or if it's going to be annoying, but it could be amazingly beyond what I expected. So this will give me some extension space around the sides of my head with the camera behind me if I want to see the left side of my face or the right side of my face. It's here's the manual, which is very, very amateur. There's no big title on this. It's called the Magic Arm. It's written in size 6 font. Anyway, I might not ever read that, but let's see. Doesn't say it anywhere in the box either, just a generic box. What is this? What could it be? It's very big. It is a smartphone holder. Pretty big one, huh? Let's open it up and have a look. Yep, that's a phone holder. Cold shoe mount on the top, 1/4 inch female thread on the base, a bit of a grip. Should be wide enough to hold phones that have a small, geez, that looks good. It can only go sideways. Can't go vertical. You'd have to turn this whole thing sideways if you wanted to do that. Your phone would need to have a very small case. If it has a thick case, you probably can't use this. Phone's going to go in there, switch on the side, that'll light up what the phone sees. More on this side than this side though, because it's not centered, got a big gap. And when I'm doing my hair, I'll probably want it in white so I can be clear about what I'm seeing. It makes you less attractive to have cool rather than warm light. Warm makes you look better, but if you want to see what you're doing, cool seems more accurate because it's the whitest. These batteries recharge, and obviously it comes with one and a charger, but I'm not going to unpack that because I've already got a bunch of them. Alright, something about this stand that I didn't know before I bought it. It's not the same as the other stands where you can just screw this thing on. This is bolted on tight and it's unmoving. So once I stick this to my ceiling, this will be hanging down until I remove it from the ceiling. It'll be a black thing hanging from the ceiling. Obviously this will be higher than anybody whose head will ever touch it, but it will always be hanging down from the ceiling. What I intend to hang out of it, I haven't examined this properly yet, but we need to get this onto it so that we can put this onto it, right? And then the phone. So the phone will be the camera, this will be the light, and this will be the mount from the ceiling. This isn't a very big extension arm to go around the side of my face, but with the camera it should be okay. I might have to step sideways, left and right as I move around. This is very small, but I couldn't find anything else on the internet. This is a robust, very well built piece of kit. This feels average, and this feels average. I guess this is if you want to stick it out of a wall, but what you really need is toggle bolts. All right, let's have a look at this thing. I don't know what I bought, let's have a look. But it's the only one available. The only thing, oh, what's this? I'll take this off. that is a large, potentially 5/8 or 3/8, I don't know. I can actually check this. Well, I could read what it is, but also I could check it with something else I just purchased, which is a thread checker. Oh, sorry, a gauge checker. That is too big, but I think this might be removable, and it comes out. Oh yeah, it does. It comes out as a male 1/4 inch, that side. So depends which side you want, I guess. You might even be able to put it downwards as well. I guess this thing's just what's holding it in. Yeah, so I can flip that around that way, so it's going to be perpendicular, or yeah, in series. That clicks in nicely. That's not bad. This is a good system. That works pretty well. And this tightens, and this is D-shaped on both sides, so when you press the screw from the tightener, it'll press against that flat bit there. I'll definitely be using 1/4 inch, or maybe nothing at all, because I expected that I'd be getting something with 2 male ends. So male plus male equals, well, depends who you ask. I'll just put that back in for now and just rotate the D so it's fully flush. All right, this is the one that lowers and raises it like a telescope. And good, it doesn't keep coming, it stops. That's good. I'm gonna tighten that up. So that'll be the maximum distance from the ceiling right there. Now, this thing needs to go lower than this if I need to go lower than, let's just say if my head is only there or whatever, this needs to go lower. It depends though, because this thing's quite big and I could turn this upside down and that would give me even more length. I'm not sure. There are attachment screws on the sides of it, on one side of it, and directly in the center at the base. So it makes sense, because I want it to be centered, I would screw it directly into that. Not one of those off-center ones. If I did mount some sort of shoe to this or this, I could potentially screw on a shoe and tighten it on that way. It'd be faster and easier to remove if I did that. At this point though, I think I'll be going straight into that screw right there. I think. Depends how this works out. Either that or I'll be coming out sideways like that. Hopefully this whole contraption will not be too heavy. This does feel quite heavy for this flimsy thing, because it's all going to be based on screws up in the drywall, remember? That's what's going to be taking the tension at the end of the day. So hopefully this is long enough. Hopefully this is long enough. Hopefully this is not too heavy. Because I just wanted a phone holder. Lucky I didn't get an iPad holder. But we have solved the lighting issue. I was going to get a small light, but they simply don't exist anymore. I was going to use blue tack and stick it on, and there would have just been a rim around the outside of that light. But they don't exist anymore, so I got consumer level shit. All right, let's try to put this thing together for a sec. How would I get this to come out of there? How would I attach this to there? Well, it looks like I can't. Now here, let's see how small this clamp can go. So I could clamp on there and just completely remove both this that's really long. It's rotating forever. And that's a bit neater, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't clamp onto this plastic bit. Clamping onto this could work, maybe. I don't know. I'll just double check how. Well, that's good gearing. Let's see. I thought it would take much more rotations. That's really good. All right, so if I squeezed around the head of that, Oh, I do need... Yeah, okay. No, what am I talking about? Okay, that would... I'll keep this on then. Just screw that back in. I don't know why I would keep a little 1/4 inch sticking down the bottom of this thing. I can't imagine that I want to attach anything directly underneath it. I guess this one is less likely to cut your head open if it scratches against your head. Yeah, alright, good. It's got a bit of a safety cap, that's good. I forgot. Okay, so we are stuck with this thing being bolted to the ceiling and this not being able to be removed. This comes down as a telescope. Well, telescopic. It's not even scopic, it's just... And this thing rotates freely. It's probably not good. Probably because that bit inside, it's a D shape, right? And we just hit the D there. So I need to tighten it right there. And now any rotation here is just friction, but I feel like it's not going to slide off. It feels quite secure and I can tighten it really tight. There's a very good gear mechanism in this clamp. Now let's hope that the next part will stay on and there won't be too much weight. I'm constantly sort of feeling to make sure that it's all quite robust. This thing apparently doesn't pack away, so that's always going to be sticking down from the ceiling at you. Probably best to make sure that the final twist makes it end up sideways, so it's not sticking down towards the floor, towards the top of your head. But this could always poke your eye out as well, so I don't know what's the best angle. Okay. Next we're going to put on this magic clamp, magic arm from Neewer. I'll just lock it so that that thing stops rattling around. Okay. Now that it's locked, I think this whole thing is going to come off. Yeah, it does. This is metal. This is a very high quality. This is the most high quality thing I've got here. And I've never seen anything like it, where the lock in the middle clamps shut everything into position. It's quite amazing, actually. So I'm just gonna... This clamp has 2 thread holes. I don't know what that's called, and this is 1/4 inch. I just did buy some gauge, bolt gauges, but they're packed away, so I can't bother getting them right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna rotate that so it's tight, that bit. Okay, and that really is, depends on the weight of it, I guess. It's still, it's frictional, so you can still move it. And this is frictional rotation here as well. So nothing is greasy. It's nice and like it feels like it would stay in midair, and it's exactly what I would have dreamed of. I didn't know I could get something that worked this well. This is really good. And I'm glad there's that little plastic nub there to keep that safe. This is good. I'm liking this so far. Let's just pull out a bit here. So we've got the ceiling mount, which is going to be using some toggle bolts to get up into the ceiling. This one's too big. Go one size down. Maybe this one? That seems too small. This one, no, it's the same size as it. Quarter inch. I should be able to recognize 1/4 inch by now. That's 1/4 inch there. Hopefully once I've locked this, it'll just be friction, and I don't know, hopefully I won't really need to ever unlock it, because the whole thing is going to collapse when I do. So it either will be amazing or awful. What do you think 1/4 inch is here if you look at that? Is this one? No, that's too small. 1/4 inch 3/16 and 1/8 of an inch. So 1/4 inch is the biggest apparently. Is that 1/4 inch? That's the biggest. Oh no, that's bigger, isn't it? No, that's the same. Okay. That really looks bigger than that one, doesn't it? That does not look like 1/4 inch. I guess it is. All right. Maybe the middle size one will fit. Let's have a look again. Yeah, I'd say these are the ones I want. 3/16 of an inch, the middle size one. So what I'm going to have to do is, I've got 8 of these. They're going up into the ceiling, so it's going to go up through there. Screw that back in. And once that's pushed through a hole, it's big enough to accommodate this, which might be a 1 centimeter or 10 millimeter drill hole. I'll push this whole thing times 4 up through. It will release inside the ceiling. Then I'll pull it down and it will tighten against there and just squeeze. That's the drywall, boom, it'll squeeze and hold like that, times 4, inside the ceiling cavity. It is a pain in the ass to drill into your home, but you can always bog it up. And so long as you have the same ceiling paint, which is often natural white, it depends who painted your house. And also, as paint gets dirty over the years, it becomes comparatively different from new paint. If you try to cover a patch, you might have to end up painting the whole ceiling again. Onto the ceiling, this will hang down. This allows me to lower the antenna, will lower the beam pole. This is quite sturdy, aluminium, and it's not, if you tighten this thing no longer wants to rotate. But you could loosen this, given that the full extent is probably about the right height. But if you wanted a different height, you couldn't do it. But if it was the maximum height, this whole thing spins freely, right? But if you want to just lock that, then this has a nice smooth rubber on metal smooth glide going on here, which doesn't seem to be a problem. This could become a problem if the arm goes upwards though, see? That could become a problem if I loosen that. You can see the whole thing become floppy. If it was up and you're rotating, that could maybe hit there. It can never hit there though, because it rotates with it. Let's just tighten this back up. If I do that, I want it to remain sideways and not to flop down, because that would be painful. I need this whole thing to be very tight. I don't know how much I can trust this magic arm. That looks like it's spinning here. That can't be allowed to rotate. If it does, then the whole camera will flop and it won't stay in position. It's very tight. No, I can't trust this. I can't trust this. I wanted a right angle arm that could be secure, but I don't think this was going to work. I'm worried. If I put this sideways, if I could come down from the ceiling on this and attach this, where would I attach this so that it's coming down over my head nicely, right? We said there, but that would result in vertical footage. I want horizontal. Okay, so there. And we can always invert the view on the iPad when we're filming. So I'm going to put this into this hole here. Very big, isn't it? There's a brightness there. Okay. It's that rotation point that's the weakest link here at the moment. This part that's screwed into the clamp. I don't want it to swing wildly around. I want to stop exactly in the position that I want. Is there a way to screw this in and then rotate this bit as well to sort of make it rigid? I don't know. If I do that, it's not going to work. So what I can do is have it come out sideways and then come in sideways like that. And potentially I could go off at a bit more of an angle and this thing would not be a problem. So long as we understand that this is always going to go towards gravity. This looks very small for an iPad holder, doesn't it? And this looks a little bit deep. Hopefully it's deep enough for my iPad and the case. And I don't see any way to ever make that stable. I have no idea where to place this. But it is looking promising. It is looking pretty good. Yeah, that should be able to film the top of my head, no problem. Now, where do I want it in relation to where I stand when I'm at the bathroom, at the mirror? This is actually a really good size for swinging around to see the sides of your face and everything else, if you can do sideburns or whatever else. Just double check that, because there will be times I'll want this camera to come around in front of my face and over my head forwards. In fact, that's probably the majority of the time. I wouldn't hang it like this, right? Because you can't trust this. So that will swing around and whack you in the face. Or you'll guess. So if you really want it out of the way, you could potentially do that, which is the maximum weight on your plasterboard ceiling. Best case scenario, you have a beam across the ceiling and you screw straight to timber. But I don't think there is timber up there, so I am going to be screwing using these toggle bolts through holes and just use the strength of the plasterboard or drywall material to clamp on and stop this whole thing from collapsing. And hopefully the sideways weight won't, and me yanking it all the time, non-stop moving it around, won't fuck up the ceiling. Is it a gauge, a lower gauge drill bit? No, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. But that's the biggest drill bit that I've got before I start getting into cutting tools. It's more than 1 centimetre. I'll just have to circle around. I'm going to go with the Neewer logo facing the audience. Now I get to stand back and see if it's flush or not. Periscope. Now, if I look at my bathroom as a whole with that thing sticking down the middle of it, it is a bit weird, but it's certainly not going to knock anybody in the face. If you look in the mirror, you can't even see it. That's how much higher than my head it is, right? When it's periscope up. Now let's see how it manages to hold the weight of this camera system. Even at minimum height, it's still not touching my head. It would with shoes on though. So I'm glad that's, yeah. I'm 6 foot, by the way. Let's just imagine I just want to see the top of my own head when I'm shaving it. Can this stay horizontal? That's the question. That's the weak link right there. Maybe one day I'll figure out a way to fix that. It can partially stay, but it wants to flop back down. I have to figure out a way to fix this point right here. I wouldn't want to move that forcefully downwards just for the sake of the ceiling. I would loosen that with 2 hands and do it properly. Let's see what it's like to put you in there. I'll flip the screen around so I can actually use the front facing camera. Alright, I'm going to put you in here now. You ready? Let's go. Alright, now I've got 2 hands free, so I can manipulate this whole thing a bit. Oh shit. Okay, so now I've got 2 hands free, so I can manipulate this a fair bit. is what you look like hanging from the ceiling. And I would love to be able to just tighten you in midair, except for that one fucking screw. Everything else is fine. I just need to stop that from rotating when I let go. I just want to be able to move you, twist that knob, and just move you around using this magic arm, which is quite good. And put this in the top of my own head. That's what this is designed for. I have to raise the telescope up higher. Now I need to beam you to the iPad so I can see what you see. And if I want to adjust that, you can do that. Also come a lot closer. Nothing to duck at the moment, but if I raise the telescope up, maybe adjust this magic arm a bit. Yeah, you would be shaving over the sink so you catch all the mess in the sink, I suppose, and you guys are more used to this than me. Then I'll get the iPad holder. I'm going to clean this mirror first. This one has... This one's got to go because I don't need two phone holders. Comes with adhesion. It's the cover it came with. I'm just going to put that in a drawer. Maybe put it in the car, in somebody's car. Very loose in its rotation. Not much lean. That seems fine for my purposes. I'll be looking at the back of my own head and looking down at this screen here. See, the front-facing camera has one lens on this iPhone 11, but if I flip the phone around, I'll be able to do it too closer. It looks well lit from what I can see. I just get a small interpretation from this self-facing camera. Have I positioned this light in the ideal location in the ceiling? I think so. I think it's the best, straight above where you stand. In fact, yeah, it's directly overhead me when I'm standing at the sink. I'll probably raise it up a bit. Just for the sake of this camera, which can't take wider shots. And now I've got to worry about that bloody screw again. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good visibility right there. And I'll have the iPad when I link Apower Mirror to it. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I've linked the Apower Mirror app from the iPhone to the iPad. This is my first ever experience looking at this. Wow, this is so clear to see the back of my head like this. I want the iPad higher. Yeah, that's pretty perfect. Something red here. Is it a pimple or something? Also, this is the front-facing camera, so I can see. I can never see what the lens is unless I put a circle around it, because about there underneath the headphone bit. But this is pretty good, man. Let me just take you out of the socket here, and so you can step back and see what this bathroom looks like now. Okay. So I've cleaned up the mess on the floor. This is my new rear camera. I will be updating this rig to get a smaller rig with lights all around the entire perimeter, and I might just try to get a refund for this one. But as it stands, it's a good first option. So now I'm kind of ready to start investigating the back of my own head and potentially making a full hairpiece. I can now use this to measure my new shave zone. So this is my bathroom now with this thing. Is it okay? Do you think it looks not crazy to just leave this here all the time? That screw there, like I say, has to be fixed because it's stopping me from being able to leave this thing locked anywhere I want. Otherwise, this is a good tool. I'm sure there's some kind of spring washer that could prevent it, just jam it tight so it can't spin. Because you see where it's spinning, it's just spinning on the thread of the screw right there inside. That's a female hole on that, but that's got a male bolt coming out of it. Yeah. Otherwise, this thing would just stay wherever you put it. But you really do need two hands. At the moment, that's completely loose and floppy, right? Okay, so this is a power mirror that's linking this phone to this iPad. Now, at the moment, my head is going in the opposite direction and it's not mirroring, so everything's backwards. I'm pretty sure if I press this button in the bottom here, that's flipped. Has that flipped it? Yeah, that's flipped it. Hopefully now if I rotate, it'll become, yeah, see now, my hand is on the right and my left hand's on the left. If I move my head right, my head will go right on the screen. So now that solved that problem. And see how the time is backwards? I'm trying to get everything in shot, including my front facing area. I walked into this bathroom. This thing was rolled to the side. Where's the camera here? Yeah, I walked into the bathroom. Everything was rolled to the side. This was over the side like this, which is very, very easy, smooth. The only thing we've got to worry about is the gravity of the sideways flip, but if everything's just downwards, then gravity's fine. The ceiling connection seems very strong. So you'll need to get this Neewer beam that comes out of the ceiling, the clamp and the magic arm from Neewer, toggle bolts to go into the ceiling, a light that has a hole in it with a phone camera. This one is from Neewer, but the other one is from Ubisoft, not Ubisoft, something like Ubisoft. Anyway, I've ordered that one and that's coming. That will have a rim, not just top and bottom, but all the way around the edge, and it'll be smaller as well. But in terms of having this in the bathroom, in terms of its appearance, I don't mind it. You would notice this thing in your face if you were about to walk into the mirror, but I would always move it to the side like this, so it's completely out of the way, and I just go and use the bathroom mirror anytime without looking at the back of my head, but knowing that I can easily see the back of my head at any time is fantastic. One thing this video has taught me above all else is that I'm fucking fat, right? I'm really fat. I'm bald on the back of my head. And I don't think this is pimple. I think this is what all the dandruff is coming from, just scabs or something on the back of my head. So it'll be interesting when I do shave all this off. Come around the front. Sometimes being up over the front is actually just as useful as seeing from behind, which I didn't expect. It's something unexpected from this exercise. So this is a pretty good version of what people have in medical practices, like surgeons and dentists. And having the iPad on here is brilliant. It's a perfect holder. I mean, I've never really had an iPad holder in my whole life, so it's brilliant to have one. And I can see my face and sides from every angle. I can see how much grey I have and everything like that. You do have to reach up and adjust the knob every time you want to adjust it, because if you leave it loose, it'll just be floppy. And also, I'm using the front-facing camera of my iPhone 11. If I switch that sideways. Oh, you can't see, it's too high. That is stable. An amazing view, even though I'm blocking your view, but my view is amazing. With a mirror, you've got problems, you can't see past your own head. So a camera system like this is the ultimate. The tripod is currently full height, I wanted to lower it, it would go all the way down to here. And you'll be able to see your own support system like that. Now that's really low. That's currently even lower than my face. As you can see. There are a bunch of rotation points which make this quite easy to manipulate. And I swear to God, you'll have better, make sure this, I can see what's loose here. There's this thing. You gotta make sure that this thing that's holding onto the D in there is absolutely tight. I unscrewed that when I was trying to adjust the height of the boom with the telescope. Do not do that. Don't adjust this one. Adjust that one. That one. That's to raise and lower. Alright? That's periscope up and down, this one. And this one, don't ever twist it because the whole thing will fall out. Make sure that's tight. This one here. I mean, for me, I probably won't have much use for, well, I could for the sideburns and everything. It is nice to have it beside my face like this. I can see every part of me that I wouldn't normally be able to see in a mirror. Like I'm looking at that and thinking, have I got scabs here? You can see really close up of my ear and everything. I've got any wax in my ears. So I was going to shave the back of my head, which is now turning fucking grey, which I didn't realise until just then. I've got greys all over the place now. I'll be grey fully soon. The thing is, if you're shorter than me, then, or your ceiling's higher or whatever else, this gives you all the height adjustments you need. So for me, mostly, I think I'll mostly have the arm up and pointing down at myself from either behind or in front, mostly, I think. The other thing I could potentially add is a fluid head for like a tripod head for a camera, so that I get a really smooth movement. This is very loose. I mean, with a tripod head, you can sort of adjust the friction, so it will be more maneuverable without having to do this. You do need to come out from, after going down, you need to come out sideways, and this Magic Arm does solve it. It's not a friction-based thing, it's a rosette connector, so it's got teeth, and they lock, so you can't rotate with friction. It stops. You have to unlock and then rotate and then lock again, which is not ideal. But it's the best I've found with the stuff available easily on Amazon, and it's not expensive. Going grey all up here as well. Look at that flat line where poly meets perimeter. That's why lace is better along there, but I don't have to deal with all that glue cleanup. I will switch over now to the back-facing camera, which is a much better camera, and also allow me to zoom in and out, but I won't be able to see what I'm doing, so I'd have to reach around and zoom in and pinch in and out if I were to do that. Okay, this is the default back-facing camera. If I lower you down, you can see yourself in the mirror that you are black now, because this is the back side of the camera. I can zoom in and out and everything if I could see what I was doing, or I could zoom out further and get myself more of a fisheye, so I get a wider shot of everything that's happening. Right hand, left hand. and right hand left hand. You see the mirror? It's matching. And there's hardly any lag. It's fucking good. Now, the fact that the screen ends at the size of an iPhone, it might be a limitation of the free version. I don't know what happens if you pay for the VIP version. I might test it out. Although, given all the money I've spent, can you, one of you test it out? Can you go and pay for the VIP version and see if Apower Mirror is much better when, like, can it go full screen and everything else? At the moment, I'm fairly happy. It's just like having an iPad that's a bit smaller. It's still good, but I would rather have it full. See, the other thing is, I don't know if with Android, you can mirror between your phone and your Android tablet. You might not even need a Apower Mirror. But I can tell you, I tried AirDroid Cast or something, and it was really laggy, and you couldn't press the record button while it was running. So that's a pretty good view of the back of my head. I probably need to see more around here as well, so I'll just adjust that, and we'll just see how easy that is if I just rotate you around like that. That can be a pretty good overview. That's fisheye, and if I wanted to try to zoom in a bit, I'd have to reach behind the camera and pinch out like that. The whole thing seems very stable. It's just don't rotate that knob that I said, which is designed to let go of everything. And also don't try to swing the camera sideways, because there's that one screw that I keep mentioning that is stopping it from being able to hold in that situation. A lot of you have commented that I am very fucking bald on the back of my head and I need to get it full top. But some say, no, don't do it yet. I think maybe you're warning me, I don't know. I also don't know if that's the camera or that one. Yeah, I should be looking there. I'm going to the gym tonight. I'm joined a 24-hour gym so I can go and fucking start burning off some of this fat, because it's just crazy how fat I've become. I hate it. But I love this new mirror system. I'm really glad I built it. And I'm really glad I've nearly finished editing this whole thing. Yeah, so what do you think? What do you think? This is much better than the microphone stand idea, isn't it? And I've got the full floor to walk around in this bathroom. Let's fisheye that again so we can get maximum. Well, that is zoomed out as far as it goes. Unless I wanted the fisheye sort of like wide view, I probably would prefer to have the front facing camera so I can line it up. But I might get used to this, I don't know. So all the things you'll need to buy are in the description. Just click on the links. They're all from American Amazon. Yeah, it's good. Right hand, left hand. You can see how much lag there is. There's a bit of lag. Boom, 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 boom. Not too bad, it's good. This is Apower Mirror. This is Apower Rig. Just before I go, I just wanted you to have an understanding, how much time, 3 minutes 13, an understanding of lighting, okay? This light, this bathroom light that I got here, the light in the room, they're probably making you wonder, well, how bright is this light? Which has dimmer controls and also a color temperature, from yellowish, warmish to bluish, coolish. So I'm just gonna turn off the bathroom light for a second. Right. This is what this light looks like at full brightness. That's nothing. On. Now we'll go to yellow. Lower the brightness level like that. Wow. I moved. It's a motion detector. Did you see how my camera was able to see more through there? Oh, you got to see that again. There are no lights on in here, right? Oh, there's a tiny amount, but it's weird. It's almost like the iPad is amplifying the brightness compared to what I'm seeing in this phone camera anyway. Anyway, see you next time. Oh, bit of a bald patch. Oh, I am a lot bolder than I thought. Well, I'll have to do something about that.